Okay, so I'm just going to go through the examples that we've got for whether a Christian can or cannot be rich. But we'll go back to this again in when we do our an acronym session. So some people will argue that a Christian can be rich because of examples like the parable of the talents. I should be able to make as much money as I want, especially if you can make lots of money and then use that money and invest that money into helping other people. There's a guy called Rick Warren who's a Christian pastor, um, and he gives 90% of his money to tithe. Tithe being a duty to help others. Normally Christians give 10%, so if I have £10, I would give £1 to the poor. Here he gives 90% because he's got lots of money. So he has like £100,000. He gives £90,000 to the poor. And he says, every time I give, I break away from the materialism that grips me. So he is actually becoming less materialistic because he's giving away so much money. So that's one idea there, that you can actually earn lots of money. There's nothing wrong with that. And also you can make a stronger argument by arguing you could earn loads of money and then give all that money, using the parable of the talents. I could give lots of that money to the poor. I could give even more money to the poor as long as my earnings are with good intentions. On the other hand, Jesus, he was a very modest man. He wore that robe. He didn't even really shave that much. You know, he really took care. He really didn't care too much about being rich or showing off. So there's very much this kind of idea that, you know, what's important is about spirituality, about being a good person, and we don't need a lot of stuff. Jesus actually says in one quote in the Bible, when he's tested in the desert by the devil, the devil says, "Why don't you turn that stone into bread?" And he goes, "No, man cannot live on bread alone." And that idea is saying man can't live on just physical things, material things. We need spirituality. And if we find ourselves too focused on being rich, then we won't focus on the spiritual needs. No one can serve two masters. He'll either hate one, making me get rid of all my money, or he will and love the other, or hate one and love the other. So that idea is you don't love money. You can't love money. You can have money perhaps, but you definitely can't love it, which is an important idea there within this discussion of whether it's right for a Christian to be rich.